Hey and welcome. It's Denise Cal, Creative Memories Advisor, Norman Beach, Florida. And today we are going to be looking at the Tropical Gardens Project Playbook. Won't be doing the whole thing, but as I go through and cut it, I wanted to give you some tips. So let's take a look at my desk. I did mention already at one of my Zoom crops that they have changed the paper that comes if you buy the Buy It All bundle. And before it used to be all the paper that you needed to complete the playbook. Now you've got 2 sheets of 5 of the papers of the 5 of the coordinating papers, 2 of each, so you get 10 sheets. The thing with this then is that we need some additional light pink cardstock. We need some additional white cardstock that didn't come in here, and then you will have extra cardstock left over at the end that isn't being used in the project playbook. So let me know your thoughts on that, but let's take a look at the playbook. So the first thing that I do is I always go through, because I like to be able to do at least one of the project recipes as well as the project playbook. So I go through and I mark the papers as to what is in the project recipe, what I'm going to be using in the project playbook. You can see that we have some sheets that are left over. And then what I did is I kind of rearranged, and not going to be using 2 of these on the project recipe. I'm going to probably use white cardstock instead for that. So I have that all marked, and I have all our papers out. So if you're working along with me, I can let you know what one each one of these goes with. What layout each one of these cuts go to. So 1A and 1B are for project 2. 1C is for project 4. 1D is for project 4. 1E is for 1. 2A and 2B are for 3, and 2C is for 4. 3A, B, C, and D, the corners, are all for project 2, and the middle is for project 3. 4A is for 1, and 4C are also for 1. That's all for 1. As well as 5 is all for project 1. 6A and B are for project 1. 6C is for project 3. All 7A, B, C, and D are for 2. E and F are for 4. 8A and B are for 4. 8C and D are for 2. And then 9A is for 4. All the 9B, C, D, and E are for 1, and E and F are for 4. And then 10A and B are for 1, 10C is for 4. All these circles are for 2. 11A, we're going to talk about that and what we're going to do, so let's come back to that. 11B is for 3, and those 2 circles are for 2. So I'm going to go ahead and cut them. You will need your circle cutters. It does tell you which circle you need, as well as which blade you need. You'll also need the jumbo circle, your 12-inch trimmer, and then we'll get together and we will start building each one. I have some things I might change off of these. Some of them are a little bit too pink for me. I don't mind a little bit of pink, and then we'll see about making a matching page for projects 3 and 4. So let me go cut and I'll come back. Did forget to mention that we do need the hummingbird and flower border punch, as well as the tropical flower chain punch that came out. So I have those out here also. So again, I'll be back. Okay, I have everything cut and in their piles. So let's talk about layout number 1. So this calls for this raspberry pink, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to build it on raspberry, but let's start with that. I have some white. Don't know if bright white will go with this. Maybe there's something else that we received that we could use. So what we're going to do is put down the raspberry, and then what we need is our 2 pieces, 4A and 5A, and those are going to go right in the middle. So again, you could gut those if you wanted to make a frame to save on some paper for that raspberry. And just have everything fell all over the place, like always. Let me just get that one piece that fell. Now, maybe what I should do is let's build one on white and just compare as we're building. So, and maybe that just doesn't stand out enough. Maybe it does, but we'll see when we get it all built and decide which one we like best. 4C, which are the 12-inch pieces, are going to go along this side. And it says here that they're going to be 1 inch from the inside edge. So let's just kind of get this centered. This is going to be 1 inch in, as well as the other 12-inch piece. These are the shorter ones. Okay, so we have this one 1 inch in, and then what we're going to do for 4B and 5B, these are going to go 1 inch down, so they're very close, and 1 inch down. Again, I'm not going to attach them because I don't know. What we're going to do for the edges is that we are going to make a a banner. Now, if you have the banner punch, you can do that. If not, we can just use our scissors and we can just cut banners. I'm cutting them both at the same time so that they will be the same kind of banner at the end. Okay, so we have those 2 pieces, so those 4 or 5 pieces in. The next thing we're going to do, it says to cut 1E in half, and I didn't do that yet because I wanted to see if there was a pattern, how this was going, how did I want to cut this. So I can cut it now in half. And the easiest way to cut in half is just to slide it in at the top here. When both of these edges are touching, you will be in half. This circle shows that it was, and just to make sure that we're close, to show you 5 7/8. So it should be just less than 3 inches, which is what it is. And I'm going to line that up. And let's see how these go. Perfect. Because the one that has the words kind of, that looks to me like words, I'll put over there. And I'll put this one up here. Again, of course, everything's sliding around. Okay, so the next thing that we have is we're going to put down 6A and 6B. And those are going to be, I'm just trying to see where here, 3/4 of an inch from the bottom and 3/4 of an inch from the top, like so. And then we have these 2 borders, which I didn't cut because I wanted to see how they went on the page. We're supposed to cut those down to be 9 1/2, but I wanted to see how they went on the page before I decided how I was going to cut them. And they're actually going to go at the top. We're going to cut some of this off. And then this is going to overlap it a little bit. Again, if you want, you don't need to overlap it the whole way. And this one is going to go down here. I just want to see this because that would be, when you're making both of these together, this will be 3/4 of an inch and this will go on top of it. And the same with this one. So however much of that border, and again, don't forget those need to be cut down. And then we should have some mats that go there. And here's my other 2. These 2 go down here. And then we'll just have photos. Those will be the mats. So I'm going to take a look. I think this pink is still a little bit too bright. I'm thinking the white might be enough, but I'm going to look to see if there's anything else in that kit, and you can let me know what you think. So that is layout number 1. That's spread number 1. And then you can see where the embellishments went and follow that, or do your own. So for layout number 2, we need these green palm leaves, and we did need that. I was going to use it for the project recipe, but I used a different one for the project recipe. I wanted just to see how much of this green, and was it important, or could I change the greens up? And this also does have a lot of pieces. So let's start with, I don't know which way to start, these corners. And in here it's showing these orange. We'll do it that way to start, but again, I think I might like it this way better. And it wouldn't be that one. It would have to be one like that. Let's see if I'm going. Yes, that would be good. I'm going to do one side the orange and one side with the bamboo. Okay, so then with that goes these purple orchid picture little corners. Oh, wait. Take a step back. Those go to the circles. And actually, I'm wrong here. Let me just move that around. Okay, and then we're going to do the yellow squares in the opposite corner from when we do those shapes. And they will come in a little bit. They're not going to be right in the corner. They are going to be, these ones are going to hit right in the corner. But these ones, 7A, 1/8 of an inch. So really close, but 1/8 of an inch in. And then these, we'll leave the big circles for a minute because they're going to go in the corner, in the middle. This one, the triangles are going to go on the squares. The circles, which is just out of the cardstock, are going to go on the corners with the rounded. And then these ones will go there. It's a lot to this page. And then these two will come in the middle with a white one on top. And this one will also come in the middle with a white one on top. And then these will just have photos. So let me just take one look. So again, you have some options. Which color do you like it to go? So again, here's what you would see. Where the whites are the photos. What this is just a mat, and they have used cut a mat of your choice and circle outside of the smallest with the green blade. So there's a couple that you could use to put on here. Those one might work. You could also fussy cut it if you want. So again, there's a couple options in case, and I'm missing a triangle somewhere here. I'll find it. So there are some options that if you didn't like that oranges color, you could use the bamboo on the other side and it softens it up a bit. Again, you could use maybe a dark green cardstock to save this paper for another layout. But let's move on to layout number 3. Okay, layout number 3 is a one-page layout, and this is built on the soft pink cardstock. What they've done here is they've used the reverse of the corner rounders. So if you haven't done that before, let me show you how to do that. So you would just put it in the opposite end. I always line up this corner to the middle of the screw that's in to make sure that it's straight. And you could then do all 4 corners. I won't do all 4, but that's how you would do that. We'll do one sheet and then you can do the other one. And then one more. Yeah, if you line it up to that screw, it makes it easier. So we'd have that green, pink, the green at the bottom. You would do that one also. We have the reverse of this, but first we have the bamboo circle. Underneath here, you only see a little bit of it. And then this white cardstock. You see this is a map down here that this cut off to put down there. So it's very easy. I don't mind this light pink. Could we change this into 2 pages? Probably. We do have some things left. I also wanted to take a look and see how this would be if we did it on white. So if you don't like the soft white, you could probably use a bright soft pink. Sorry, if you didn't like the soft pink, you could use the bright white cardstock. So let's take a look at the last one, layout number 4. 12. Okay, so let's take a look at layout number 4. This is the one when we were here, I had said for piece 11A, let's talk about it when we get to layout number 4, because here you're building it on this yellow sunbeam paper, and this white piece goes right in the middle. And first thing I see is like, why don't I just put white cardstock up here, or an insert sheet, and save myself this this paper at the bottom. So you can see that this top piece could easily be built on white cardstock or an insert sheet. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put that yellow sunbeam, and then what we're going to do is take all these little 2 by, what are they, 2.5, 2-inch pieces and put along the top. So I'm just going to follow her pattern she's got here. Again, you can see how we could just be building this on a 6-inch piece of white cardstock. Ah, that's the one that's cut wrong. So I do need to go and cut that, because that was only 2 inches, not 2.5. So let me go and cut this. That is 2.5. So I need a 2.5. I was trying to do some paper saving and it didn't work. I need 2 by 4.5. What is this one? Oh, it's only 1.5. 2 by 4.5. And that one will go in here. And so, this one's going to be the pink. There we go. Thought it was a little big. There we go. So we have all of our pieces across the top. Then what we're going to do is put this white cardstock. Actually, first we have 2, actually 1. She's got a sticker up there. I'm gonna have this one. I'm gonna do this one underneath again, just peeking through. And then see, so I wanted to save some of that. We have 2 mats, and it'll get tucked in under here. We have our hummingbird border. And then we have 2 photos. These are just placements for the photos. And then she has used quite a few of the stickers. I'm just going to get those out. So you can see on this one, she's used this one sticker here up along the top, and then this little one along the bottom. So easily you could build this second page. Maybe you don't use this sunbeam. Maybe we could use canary to build it on white. And definitely we have enough little pieces to be able to make this across the top. And we actually have enough to do some more mats. So we do have enough paper and stickers to be able to do a matching page for this. So that is a quick look at the 4 layouts for the Paradise, and then I will be doing the project recipe in my VIP group later today. But thanks for joining me, and I hope that you love these. I have a use for these. I'm working on a St. Martin album. I think these will go great. Just again, I just want to cut back a little bit of the pink. So thanks for joining me today. Happy scrapping, and we'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.